from Politico, bizarrely and personally lurking, Gabbard's appearance at FBI election raid alarms Dems, as it should. For those that don't know the story, I'll keep it real simple for you. Trump raided the Fulton County election hub. Tulsi Gabbard was there, and Trump's been spam blasting videos about how the 2020 election was stolen, how it was stolen from him. And Tulsi Gabbard, she's the director of national intelligence. So what I find really funny here is that these Democrats are going, oh, she shouldn't be involved in domestic affairs. Why is she here? Would anyone like to posit perhaps a reason why someone who should not be involved in domestic affairs would be at an election hub?
Maybe there's a foreign interference.
Ian, ding, 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 right away. Could
logic.
it be that the insinuation they are making is that foreign countries and influence have been subverting our elections, and that's why she's there as the DNI?
Possible. I think Dominion, correct me if I'm wrong.
Venezuela?
Is it headquartered in
the
Venezuela?
Arguments, the theory right now is that one of the theories is that Trump's invasion of Venezuela, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I actually think there's a decent probability, maybe even greater than chance, that the reason he got Maduro was over the 2020 election and nothing else. And the reason why I say this is, if there's one thing that Trump's pissed about, it's 2020, and he still won't shut up about it. He posts on Truth nonstop about it. He, what was it? Pam Bondi wanted election voter rolls from Minnesota. Now you've got this action in Fulton County. When I see all this stuff, I'm like, man, yeah, I don't know if it's true, but I can genuinely believe it. If someone said Trump invaded Venezuela because he wanted, information on these voting conspiracy theories, I mean, I'd be like, yeah,
I have a question.
I believe it.
If true, and if proven true, what is the remedy?
For what exactly?
Right?
Monarchy. We have no choice. If Trump finds even a single fraudulent ballot, he has to be king, right?
Oh, I see the logic in that. See,
I love
question
how,
mark at the end of my
I love
sentence.
how it's an
saying-
obvious joke, but like Sam Cedar's going to clip it anyway and be like,
Oh, he finally showed his true
No,
colors.
but what is the remedy? Do all Biden's executive orders, are they instantly nullified? Like what is the remedy for that?
No, I think you just
no,
don't make the mistake again.
it's federal management over the elections and an overhaul of the electoral system. That's good news.
I mean, I'm sure it is good news. I just don't. Like I said, I really can't see what they would do to fix it. And
But what do you mean?
Because no matter what, the Dems will say, even if we have evidence, they'll say, that's not evidence. It didn't really happen. Trump fabricated it. Blah, 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 right? And then they'll continue.
Well, of course, the only thing that matters is
we'll still
Trump's
have
willingness
elections.
to use force. Like, Trump could literally just do more stuff like this. He could go and arrest James Comey. I mean, it's a question of does Trump have the balls? That's why I called him Buchanan. Listen, to all the people, I want to say this to all the people who are just like, Trump's not losing, Trump's a winner. You wake me up when anyone from the Obama administration who we know is corrupt gets arrested. Just wake me up then. I'm not saying he's not doing anything, because they're clearly doing something. This is a nuclear bomb, and I'm very happy it's happening. But come on. You tell me when Trump actually gets a conviction of like Letitia James or Fonnie Willis or something for what they did that was clearly corruption.
Yeah.
Trump can't even get Don Lemon arrested. I'm not blaming Trump for these things. There's an entrenched system that is resisting law enforcement. I'm just saying, he's not winning every single time.
I would be happier to to answer your question, the restitution. I'd be happier to have a secured election in the future. Presidencies, open source voting software code, paper ballots that are double, triple, quadruple checked on like a blockchain that everyone can cross-reference multiple times. Something like super secured, as opposed to arresting Letitia James. I don't really care about who did what back then. I want the future to be better. So if that means that we have to forgive, I'm willing to focus on solving the problem.
I'm not just talking about restitution. When I talk about remedy, like how do you fix it, right? Like, how do you fix it going forward? How do you fix what happened in the past? And when I say fix it, I try to live in reality. That's why everybody calls me like a black pill and stuff. But like, do you think that what you just said is possible? You think they'll ever get it done?
Yeah.
No.
Well, they can, but whether or not it's...
They can.
You have
you
to
think they
listen,
will?
Ian, the point of putting
hope
people
so.
in jail and stuff.
I
Look,
want to be
the
positive with you.
The point of putting people in jail is to deter people from doing it in the future, right? Like, it's not like, oh, we got to get retribution. It's because if people think, oh, well, they got away with it, so we're going to keep trying. You have to make sure people don't want to try this stuff. So it's not like, oh, we got to get them back. Whereas there are people that are going to make it out like that. They're going to say they want revenge. But the real point of putting people in jail is to deter this behavior, right? Like if people are like, I don't want to do that because they toss you in jail for 20 years, you lose your life, not like capital punishment. I'm talking about you lose the important part of your life. You lose a lot of freedom, a lot of years, like that's the stuff that'll keep people from doing it. So that right there is reason enough. So it's not about, retribution and getting them back and blah, blah, blah. It's if you put people in jail, then people understand, not to do this because they could end up in jail, especially when you put people that are in, positions of power or positions of authority. Like if people believe that, anyone can be put in jail for it, then that deters them or deters other people from doing it.
Yeah. And also prevents the person from committing the offense again.
Well, yeah, that does true. Yeah. That's reason.
We got to have the island. You know what I mean?
Would
right.
the Greenland?
Plastic.
Lisa agrees with the island.
100%.
There we go.
We're gonna build a floating island.
No. It already
on
exists called
plastic.
Australia.
Oh.
They did it once before.
What if we did it again? We're like, wait, I thought it was normal. We're like, no, we're an actual country now.
New
you
Zealand.
guys.
We
You
cut a
can't
deal
keep
with
dumping your
Australia where it's
prisoners.
like, we're not going to imprison people. We're just going to send them your way.
New Zealand. New Zealand was more for the criminals than Australia was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. New Zealand's kind of nice.
you could make-
Australia's where the giant spiders try to kill you.
You can make an island.
That's what I'm
I
talking
wouldn't
about.
want to live near.
Let's
any
build a
of those
series of
bugs.
We can put them
archipelagos.
on Greenland.
You see that
Antarctica.
story of like some
them
prankster
Eskimos.
raised an
Well, did we
American
capture
flag
Greenland?
in a Greenland flagpole or something?
Did he really?
Begins day one.
Well, that means it's ours now, right? No money
that's
exchange
all it
necessary.
takes, actually.
It's just like
If you stand in their town hall and declare it, it just is.
capture the flag,
Yeah.
King of the Hill. It's ours now.
There was a time when a handful of guys standing in a building could change a government, which is really funny. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
like
people-
we're in charge now. It's like, okay, I guess.
That's what people were behaving like on January 6th. They're like, oh, they're going to take over the government. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, look, man, the U.S. government isn't a game of capture the flag. It's not King of the Hill. Just because they're in the Capitol doesn't mean that Joe Biden's not going to get inaugurated. That's ridiculous. Anyone that seriously said, oh, they're not going to let Joe Biden become the president. That was a ridiculous notion.
How would you guys feel if there was no midterm election?
Strange.
Depends on the context.
You would feel strange?
I feel very weird.
Like
if
you'd be
they-
tingling?
Yeah.
You'd be like, woo.
My senses would be going erratic.
Depends on the context.
Like Donald Trump
didn't
cancels
say-
the election.
I'd be very pissed off.
Let's say that they uncover evidence in like 7 states showing that Democrats have cheated. I'm not saying proof, evidence. They're like, here's fraudulent ballots, here's proof. They held a bunch of hearings on it. And then Trump says, we clearly cannot have these elections because they're compromised. So we have to have federal oversight and redo this, and it's going to take 6 months or something. So the election's postponed.
I would hope it would come from Congress and not from one guy's mouth, that amount of authority.
Congress can't do anything.
I would never want one guy to have the ability to cancel a state's elections against its will.
We're talking about federal elections.
It's so interesting that you mentioned that, because I had a leftist tell me at a protest a week and a half ago that Trump was going to not allow elections to happen in the future because he's, been putting all of his people in there trying to see what they're doing. So
He makes
don't know.
jokes in his rallies alluding to that, but I don't think he's doing it.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't think.
But
he's
how would you feel if you did? A couple scenarios. How would you feel if Donald Trump just came out and said, we're not doing it?
I kind of like
Goodbye.
dictator. I'm kind of getting in on the dictator bus. You know that. So like, man, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, if Trump's a dictator, then we can have him for a while,
No,
I mean,
I don't like it.
to be honest with you,
Why don't you like it?
I don't want a dictator.
He doesn't have
Why
that long.
don't you want?
Like,
Why?
I don't want to set the precedent of allowing one guy to cancel elections.
Why?
Because it feels antithetical to the
no.
people
I don't care about
governing
your, I
ourselves.
don't care
What are you
about what feels.
Well, it
I don't
seems
care.
as if it should not be part of the American ethos.
Okay, I'm gonna try this again. For what functional reason do you oppose this?
Because of the precedent it sets.
What-
Unless you're saying it's already legal.
What precedent does it set?
You're saying if the president said, you know what, I want to cancel 8 states' elections. He said
No,
federal. What
just no election at all.
no presidential election.
No midterm election.
No midterm elections. States you can't.
So okay,
can't
so I'm
elect.
going to be very specific.
I'd be like, how do you
My
have the
question
authority
is-
guy over my government? Like,
My
what?
question is, for what functional reason is that not good?
Because in 4 years, if a guy wants to do it again, he's got precedent, and then people it will be. I don't want that function to be put in place.
Why?
Because it's too much power to put into one guy's hands.
Why? I'm asking you for the function.
Only because I've read history about when oligarchs take power and when demagogues take like full authoritarian power, and it usually is very, very bad.
In what way?
Because then the next person that comes in often is way worse.
In what way?
They're more willing to use force.
In what way?
Sending in troops and killing civilians and children,
Okay,
and
we got
poisoning
there.
people.
So let's just try this, because my point was, for what functional reason is it bad? We have a dictator. You could have said autocratic regimes typically kill civilians and oppress people and take their rights away. That is the functional reason.
There's been benevolent dictators. Look at
Like
Spain.
who?
In Spain.
In Spain, Franco?
Pisistratus.
Yeah.
Pisistratus, the guy
There's been
that
a
founded
couple.
Athens, was an exceptionally
Who
benevolent
was it
dictator.
based? Roman guy? Is it Cincinnatus?
Yeah, he was cool.
Was he the guy who was like, I don't want to be emperor. I'm out of here. I'm going to go
I
farm.
think he did his job, and then he was like, I'm done.
Yep.
Take it back.
They're
But
like, no, be emperor forever. Like, nah.
Pisistratus, I think that's how you say his name, was the Greek dude. He wandered into Athens when it was just this fishing village, and he had this one beautiful woman with him. He's like, this is Athena. Bow down to me. And they all did, and they were like, oh. So, and then he ruled Athens as their god, basically, and turned it into the greatest trade hub on earth. And they call him a benevolent dictator. And then when he was gone, it was gone.
So you don't want that?
I don't think we need. Well, I don't. That would be cool if it could happen, but it would be weird.
How could it happen?
How?
A guy. So is it possible that one man could assume the power like this? What was his name?
Pisistratus or
Pisistratus?
I don't think
It's like
it's piss.
peace.
I don't think it's piss.
Yeah, I don't think it's piss. It's
But I
probably
think it's
peace.
spelled like that. P-I-S-A.
Would you want him to transform America into a beautiful, shining city on a hill?
Ooh, it'd be cool, but with the internet, I don't think it's possible. It's too much information.
I'm not saying if it's
flow.
possible. I'm saying if he could do it, would you want
If
him
a
to
man
do
could
it?
do it, if a man
Yeah.
could wave the magic wand and we are now a
Yep.
republic again, a shining republic on the hill, yeah.
No, a dictatorship.
No, I don't want it.
Didn't we
But
just say
everybody's
yesterday-
fat and happy.
struggling. What's that?
A dictatorship where everyone's happy
I'd
and
rather
there's
have
no
a-
one being oppressed.
I'd be honestly rather have a
What did
struggling
Aristotle
republic
say?
than a
Well, then we
functioning
have to
dictatorship.
remove
No,
half
I mean-
of the
What
people
did
in the
Aristotle
country
say?
for everyone to be happy.
Aristotle
Right?
said that
Yeah.
a benevolent dictator is the best kind of government, and a
He said a
tyrannical,
philosopher king.
Yeah, but benevolent king.
benevolent
Benevolent king is the best
and the
form.
worst is a tyrannical king.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, that's.
I disagree with
not
that.
good.
I don't think he understood what bureaucracy was like.
You might be
Because
right.
it's awful.
Well, bureaucratic communistic dictatorship is worse than a king.
I agree.
Depends on the king, but yeah, generally,
Mm-hmm.
it's the worst. I think corporate bureaucracy,
If you-
communistic is the worst.
Mob
If you have
gross.
a king, but you have an armed populace that can revolt, then you incentivize the king to be good to the population. A king that if you don't have an armed population, then you've got a significant
I'm
problem.
liking the way I sound. See.
But yeah, if you have an armed populace that can revolt and go after the king, then the king is not just incentivized by doing good for his people and making sure that history looks at him as a positive thing, but also,
Come on over to
Heads are
my
gonna
side,
roll.
Phil. Come on over.
What king could rule effectively with the threat of overthrow from his people? You'd have to disarm the population.
no, you wouldn't.
No.
They're your people. You own them.
Not
You're the king.
What if you
not
had-
own, they're
I
subject
mean-
to you.
What about this, Ian? What if the United States operated identically as it does now, but it had a king? That meant localities ran their own jurisdictions, cities voted on their own laws, city councils, state governors, legislatures, but there was a king.
You probably see a lot more dead in Minnesota today than if we had a republic like we do.
Why?
Because the king wouldn't tolerate any of that noise.
No,
You
no, no,
cannot
hold
There's a lot of
tolerate-
assumptions in that.
Mild uprisings as a
You're
king.
creating a fictional king in your
saying-
head. I'm talking about the function of the office, not what one tyrannical person would do. If you want to imagine there's an evil despot like, yeah, I'll kill people for no reason. Well, then you can get a president who does that. You can get a president who's going to be like, I'm going to go kill a bunch of people.
I think that small revolts or like small riots are much more. They threaten a king much more than they threaten a republic. Like a republic, we can handle a small riot, revolution in a city, or even if state government goes kind of crazy. The rest of us can kind of handle that. A king, you cannot allow people to start to show strength against you. You have to have mechanical autocratic control at all
Jordan's
times.
got a king and he's very popular.
Who?
Jordan's got a king and he's very popular.
Yeah, he's like the benevolent kind of thing. Jordan, I don't know a lot about.
Ferdinand of Saint Ferdinand, Spain. There's a whole bunch of them. There's one in Yugoslavia. There's like if you ask AI to list you your benevolent dictators and kings, it'll give you a whole long list.
I'll do that.
Well, I'll go. It feels like regression.
My point with this line of questioning in this conversation is largely just that a lot of people in this country don't actually understand why it is that it's bad to have an autocrat. They'll just be like, because it is, because we shouldn't, but they don't actually know. And the nuance of the American Revolution was largely that Parliament was oppressing the colonies. It wasn't just that the king was bad, King George was bad. And they petitioned the king to actually assist. They wanted a voice in Parliament. They wouldn't get one.
Right.
So at the time, Britain had a Parliament. They had a king and they had a Parliament. They had people who were, voting on these things. Yeah. And I love that line from the greatest movie ever made, The Patriot, where Mel Gibson says, tell me, why would I trade one despot 3,000 miles away for 3,000 despots 1 mile away? And then everyone laughs.
Yeah, it was Lord North. That was the prime minister at the time, the single head. That was the real villain in the revolution was Lord North. He was obsessed with crushing the colonists.
Yeah.
I think there just has to be a little more structure to society more than what we have now, because right now, most of the people in America are slaves to their own desires. And I think that you cannot be free unless you have a framework to work within. And right now, it's like lost chaos chaos. It's just.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.